Welcome back to movementprofessional.com and happy holidays. So today I want to go over how to break in a new pair of shoes, as I just got a new pair of New Balance Minimuses for Christmas. I have an old pair here that I wear quite a bit, just when I'm training, and also, these are my outdoor running shoes. They still work really well, they still fit nicely, but they're starting to get a little gamey, and they have a kind of a chunk taken out of the side here, which I tried to rope climb in. Not a good idea. However, I really like the shoes and I wanted to just get a new pair. But sometimes the problem with getting a new pair of shoes is that you have to re-break them in and you're already comfortable with the shoes that you have. So I want to go over the active process of actually breaking in a shoe. It's not just a time thing necessarily, but it's also something that you can really work towards and get there quicker. Before we put the shoes on, we want to just understand what the feet are doing or what they need to do, and where are certain areas of mobility that are necessary with functional activity. Alright, so first thing we'll look at is walking. And with walking, and I've done another video on this where you understand the different positions of walking, but with the foot, one of the most mobile areas needs to be this big toe that you need to be able to roll over, and then you need to be able to have some dorsiflexion in the ankle to bring it forward and land through the heel. But really, specifically, it's this big toe that gets stiff, especially in a new shoe, and you're just going to kind of bypass that if it's tight enough, and you'll end up walking with a toe out position or something where you're going to end up creating a bunion because you're just too stiff in the toe to actually create that motion. So that's really important. That also leads to a kneeling position. If I can roll over and be loose enough so I don't roll my knee or my foot out, and again can create a bunion type motion, or we'll just create some type of torque on the knee. Alright, so I want to be able to also create an arch in the foot. Alright, so this is important because a lot of shoes will have an arch support built in, or the Minimus here is meant to be a minimal shoe, so it's supposed to really hug your foot and act like a second skin, and that's really the reason I like it. It's not so much that it has a very thin zero drop heel, which is another benefit, but it's also that it feels like it's a second skin, and it just really hugs the foot nicely. So you want to be able to feel your arch more so than have it where the mobility is limited. You actually have to get the shoe on properly so that you can actually sense where your arch position is. It's really easy to do when you're barefoot, but it's not so easy to do when you have a shoe on. So I always recommend to break a shoe in, if it's your own shoe, in bare feet first, just so you can get that idea of hugging the shoe to the skin. Alright, so when we put it on, alright, so when we get the shoe on, one of the keys is to make sure that you tighten the shoe up as much as you can. You really want to be snug with the shoe early. Alright, so you get used to having this shoe become part of you. It's basically, again, like a second skin, and that's why it's good to have it right on the bare foot initially, just so you can get your foot used to that, and then it'll morph to your foot and your foot will adapt to the shoe. Alright, so we get both of them on here. Alright, again, super tight. Alright, let's go through some of those movements we did in bare feet and just make sure that we still have the mobility for it. Okay, so first we'll just see, can I sense where my arches are? Am I dropping in here? Are the ankle bones dropping in towards each other? And do I even have a sense of that happening? So first I want to make sure that I'm not kind of weight bearing the inner arch through the shoe, but I'm putting a little bit more pressure on the outer edge of the foot. Can I move my toes around in the shoes? I can. Alright, and then with walking, can I loosen this? And it's going to be stiff. I just got these today. It's going to be stiff rolling up on the toe, but that's one of the things I want to be doing often to try to break in this shoe, is get a crease right where that big toe would be arching over. Alright, so I can go into some lunges here, make sure that I'm rolling again right over that big toe, push back up, do the other side, loosen it up, notice any tightness with it. Alright, another key is don't try to overdo it with a new shoe. You're not going to break it in day one. Wear them in short bouts of activity, but don't just walk and not understand what your feet are doing. Walk with a purpose, understand where you're going to be tight, and try to loosen that up. Alright, so any questions or comments, go to movementprofessional.com and just send them out to me. I'll get back to you. Merry Christmas.